Today we will discuss our lesson, which is a work. Okay, what is the meaning of work? If I have a box and I want to push this box away, we need the first one, a force. We need force to push this box away. This box will move from point A to point B. So this box have a displacement. Okay, so this process called work. So we have two conditions to be for a work to be done. First one, the acting force, and the second one is a displacement. Okay, if I have a wall, and I will push this wall, okay, this wall, what happened to it? If this wall move? No, this wall remains static. Why? Because the force acting on this wall, falls to move it. So this wall remains static. So the displacement of this wall equal 0. Okay, so this process, I cannot call this process work. The work in this process equal 0. Okay, work done is determined by the relation W, which is the work, equal force dot displacement. And we know that force is a vector physical quantity, and displacement is also vector physical quantity. Okay, so work is the result of the multiplication of two vectors. So work is the scalar physical quantity. Okay, W, work equal force, vector force dot displacement. This multiplication is scalar product. So work equal the magnitude of a force times the magnitude of the displacement cosine theta, which is theta, it is the angle between the displacement and the force. If this is the direction of displacement and this is the direction of a force, this angle between them is theta. Okay, the unit of work is work equal force times displacement. Okay, the unit of a force is Newton, and the unit of a displacement is meter. So the first unit of a work is meter dot Newton. The second one, we know that force equal mass times acceleration. So the Newton equivalent to kilogram meter per second square. So the second unit of a work is kilogram meter square per second square, and the first one is Newton meter. This units, Newton meter and kilogram meter square per second square, this units equivalent to joule. Okay, the dimensional formula of a work can be determined by using kilogram meter square per second square. Kilogram is mass m, and meter length L square, second time t negative 2. This is the dimensional formula of الwork. We have three factors that affect the work. First one, is a force. الwork is direct proportional with force. الwork is direct proportional with a force. So the slope of this diagram or this line equal slope of this line equal displacement cosine theta. The second factor is displacement, and the relation between work and displacement is direct proportional with الwork, and the slope of this line is equal force cosine theta. The last factor that affects work is cosine theta, and work is direct proportional with cosine theta, and the slope of this line equal force times displacement. Okay, so the value of theta, the value of work depend on the value of theta. Okay, which means if the angle of theta between displacement and the force equal 0, if theta equal 0, which means if I have a box and I want to move this box away, this is the direction of the force, and I move, this is the direction of displacement. The theta or the angle between the force and displacement in this case is equal 0. So from the law, work equal force times displacement cosine theta, and cosine 0 is equal 1. So the value of the work in this case equal Fd, and this is the maximum value of the work. So the maximum value of the work at theta equal 0. Second case, if the value of theta between 0 and 90, the value of the work will decrease and will be equal Fd cosine theta, and the value of the work will be in the positive sign. Okay, the third one, if the value of theta equal 90, like I carry a bag, this is the direction of the force, and I move on, this is the direction of displacement. The angle between the force and displacement is 90. So cosine 90 equal 0. So the work done will be equal 0. Okay, if the value of a theta is between 90 and 180, the value of the work equal Fd cosine theta. But cosine theta, when theta between 90 and 180 will be in the negative value, so the work is negative sign, have a negative sign. Okay, the last one, if the value of theta equal 180, like a car move in this direction. This is the direction of displacement. There is a friction force in the opposite direction. This is the direction of a force. So the angle between the force and displacement is 180. And cosine 180 equal -1. So the work will be equal negative FD. Okay. If I have a graph between force and displacement, okay, if a constant force acted on a body and displaced it through a displacement d in the direction of the force, so theta, the angle between the force and displacement, will equal 0. Okay, so the work will be equal force times displacement, which means the area under the graph. Okay, the area below the force or the area under the graph. So the work from the graph will be the area under this curve. This is our work.